been on many a bad date. This was my first date in LA ever. He would... I just about paid my Uber to run him over. Moving out, are you going apartment hunting, sexuality, if I would date a girl, they would like laugh at me. That everyone just like hates me. When did you have your first kiss? Why am I embarrassed right now? What up, hooligans? It's Jennifer. It's a crisp 12 midnight. I was supposed to start this video like 5 hours ago, but what the fuck did I do? I sat on my phone and played Tetris for 3 hours. Am I proud of myself? Definitely not. But today, my excuse is that I am on my period, though I am weaning off of it. I feel like the hormones have been hitting me like an absolute fire truck. And usually I get bad periods, but I've never felt a hormonal mood change like this ever in my life. Like, I'll get into it a little bit later, but today I thought I would finally alter all the clothes that I have been meaning to alter for the past year. It's a lot of jeans that I have to hem because I'm a short little girly, or just like shirts that I feel like might fit me better. Will there be another injury in this video? Keep watching to find out. The first victim is going to be these jeans. These are a little long on me, so I want to hem the bottoms. I have like 3 of the same style of jeans, all from Motel Rocks. They're all a little bit long for me. I already got the short version, but it's still long. So currently I just have them all hemmed temporarily with a safety pin, but I obviously want to put in a real hem. I think I've decided on just hemming a little bit at the back, basically where the safety pin is, and just like hand sewing it. In my head, because it's on the back, like I can't see it, so it doesn't exist. That's my philosophy for a lot of things. My period started like a couple days ago, and about 3 days before that, I knew that I was starting my period because I cried for 3 days straight, the most I've ever cried in my entire life. I honestly do think that periods are kind of therapeutic though in a way for me, because I just don't really like thinking about feelings that much. When I do get my period, it's harder for me to escape because there's such intense emotions. Ooh, I don't know if I'm just thinking too much about this. Is that why guys don't talk about feelings as much? Because they don't have like mood swings from periods? There's probably some science that can completely debunk what I'm saying, but I really thought I was onto something. I might still be, who knows? Like, I just stabbed myself. I did ask you guys on Instagram to send me some questions to answer throughout the video. Clearly, I am just going on my own tangent for now, but I will get into the questions in a little bit. I also do think, obviously, that society prevents men from talking about feelings so freely, which, when you think about it, it's like, how are emotions a female thing? Do you know what I mean? It's like, isn't that like what being a human is? Make it make sense. I cannot shove this thread through this hole. Don't say it. I know what you're thinking. Oh my god, this doesn't even fit in the hole. Don't say it. Oh my god, success! I got it in. I need scissors. Okay. Cool. By the way, thank you to everyone who submitted a question on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at JENerationDIY. We're gonna start off on a fun one. Story about my worst date. I've been on many a bad date. There's so many I could choose from, but I think the worst one today is still, we call him Backpack Man. I have talked a little bit about him. This guy I met on Hinge in LA. This was my first date in LA ever. I hadn't been on a date in a while. I kind of just wanted to get things started, so I didn't really care who I went on a date with. I was like, whoever asked me first to go out will be the chosen one. So this guy happened to ask me out. He was like, do you want to go get drinks? I was like, sure. A lot of the times I will get really in my head about going on first dates because I'll see something really trivial on their profile on a dating app and I'm like, oh, this doesn't really like align with my life. Like, I don't go on hikes. Like, we can't get married. This is another tangent. I feel like I'm not gonna be able to stay on the same track the whole video. But one time I was extra freaking out about a date and I called my friend like super stressed. The analogy that she gave really calmed me down. She was like, I think you need to view it more like like right now you're just gaining XP. And I was like, wait a second, that actually makes a lot of sense. It kind of simplifies things in my mind that right now I'm still trying to find myself. The romantic aspect or dating, it also contributes to you finding yourself, because I find that through a lot of dating experiences, I've been able to learn, surprisingly, like a lot of things that I need to fix within myself, a lot of insecurities that I have. And so even when I go on bad dates, there's still something that I can reflect on. Anyway, back to the bad date story, which is we hadn't texted that much beforehand, so I really didn't know what to expect, but I thought he was like kind of funny from his text. Because this was kind of like just chill, I'm just like getting back into the scene, no pressure or anything. So I was hanging out with my friends that day and I was like, oh, do you guys want to come spy on my date with me? If anything went wrong, we could just like go to the bathroom together and scream. I show up to the restaurant with my friends like a little bit early. They talked to the waitress girly. They're like, okay, so we're in the situation, like we're trying to spy on our friend's date. Like, can you put us somewhere that's kind of in view? And she's like, oh, I got you. And then he arrives 10 minutes late, which I guess isn't really that important to the story, but I think it just adds to the things that were unlikable about this man. I'm like, hey, then I have to tell you what his name was. Okay, whatever. But his name is Ben. He added a little like swirly thing on top of one of the letters of his name. And so I thought that was like really interesting. So I was like, how do you pronounce your name, by the way? And he's like, oh, it's just Ben. I don't actually have the accent in my name. I just added it for fun, which was like, okay, cool. In and of itself is nothing to be red flaggy about. But again, it just adds to the drama. And then we sit down and cause I carry this little backpack and he's like, oh, you wear a backpack? And I'm like, yeah, what's wrong? And he's like, oh, LA girls don't wear backpacks. I've never met this man before and he's already like judging me. So then I'm like, yeah, it's like convenient. It's like what are you supposed to say to that? And then I'm like, okay, like, well, what do you wear? And he's like, well, I wear a fanny pack to work. Cause like when I go to work, I wear sports shorts and sports shorts don't have deep pockets. So I need to wear a fanny pack. But right now I'm wearing like regular pants that actually have deep pockets. So I don't need to wear a fanny pack. Like, I get what you're trying to say, but if that's your explanation, like, I feel like you don't have any room to judge my backpack. And it's like a cute backpack, bro. It's like a gingham print cute backpack. So anyway, I already was like getting bad vibes. After I brought up that I was Canadian, he was like, you don't seem Canadian. All of the Canadians that I work with are really nice and they say pardon. Instead of saying pardon, you say like what or huh. Like, first of all, sir, what are you implying about me? Also, why would I say pardon to you? This is like a casual conversation. I'm not at a job interview. Because this is a really loud restaurant, there were some things that I didn't hear. So I was just like, oh, what? Like, huh? Every time I would be like, what or huh? He would be like, what? Huh? Like mocking me, like after I say it. Instead of like a nice, relaxing, fun first date, I literally felt like I was in an argument the entire time. Like I felt like he was yelling at me. So this guy was saying that he knew Chinese. He like started saying some Chinese to me. It felt like he was trying to like flex, but it was like not good Chinese, which I'm not out here to like shame anyone for not being good at a second language. It wasn't the fact that he was speaking Chinese. It was the fact that he was yelling Chinese at me. Getting yelled at in Chinese on a first date isn't really like what I pictured. So then, I think he was like 25, so he was a bit older than me. And he mentioned that he basically hasn't changed since he was 21 years old. And I was like, okay, that is a gigantic red flag. And so I tried to like give him a chance to redeem himself. So I was like, do you mean that you just still have the same core beliefs? And he was like, no, like I just don't think like as a person I have changed. Like I really tried to give you a chance, but you really didn't take it. One of the final bits that really just pushed me over the edge, we were talking about our childhoods and stuff, and I was like, oh, I really want to recreate those like golf scenes from High School Musical 2. He's like, wait, High School Musical, what is that? And I was like, wait, you haven't heard of High School Musical? It's like a Disney movie that was like really, really popular. And he was like, oh, dudes don't watch High School Musical. I just about paid my Uber to run him over. Needless to say, I had zero desire to ever see him again. You know what the really sad part is though? I actually bought a purse after that date. On the next date that I went on, I brought a purse. No, because also the guy that I went on with the purse did not even deserve the purse purchase. You know, I don't really regret things in my life, but that is maybe like one of my biggest regrets. Although the purse is really cute and I do wear it a lot now, but I also split the time evenly with my backpack. The backpack is not gone. Backpack Jen is still a year, but purse Jen has been thriving a little bit lately. Oh, I can't believe he really convinced me the backpacks were not it. But they are it. It's just like, it is way more comfortable. And like, there's the little thing that you can like, there's so many ways that you can hold it. Like you can carry it on your back. You can do it one shoulder, which I think looks so cool. You can also carry it with the small little carrying strap, or you can like put it on your arm like a purse with the two straps. All I'm saying is backpacks deserve rights. Backpack man though deserves no rights. Ooh, amazing. Success. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. You obviously can tell that there's a fold, but I don't really care that much because it is the back. But now I don't trip over it, which is amazing. All right, it is the next day and we have yet another pair of pants to hem. I'm gonna kind of do the same thing, but go all the way around. If it doesn't look good, I can always tear it out. So then I got a lot of questions about moving out. Are you going apartment hunting? Are you moving out of your parents' home? Let me just say that things are in the works. You'll be getting a new series soon. That's all I can say, but it's very exciting. It's something that never happened before. You will be very excited. On the topic of like, how do my parents feel about me living at home? I think generally, if you don't live in like an Asian household, you might not understand because it's culturally just kind of different. Like it's very, very normal for Asians to live at home through their 20s or like their whole life, or to move back in after you have kids. I think the culture is way more family oriented. It's not like once you turn 18, you're out of the house. I think that a lot of people in the Western world view it as like a bad thing that's kind of embarrassing, but I really don't see it that way. When I went to school, I lived in New York and I've been in LA for a while and then I came back. Honestly, I feel like I have the best of both worlds. I still have somewhere to call home, but I also get to travel a lot, which is a good balance in my life. I also don't know if this is just me trying to make myself feel better, but I feel like having too much of a good thing is not good anymore because then you don't have a point of comparison. When people are like, if you make your passion your work, then you'll never work a day in your life, which I don't think is necessarily true. I am doing what I wanted to do as a job. I think it inevitably is too much of a good thing. I think there's a maximum capacity for happiness in your brain. I feel like if there's no bad thing happening in life, you don't really feel the effects of success or your work. I hope that makes sense. I also feel like I don't really know how to articulate myself that well anymore. I remember when I was in therapy, my therapist would ask me to describe how I felt, like where in my body I felt the discomfort when I was depressed, and I was like, everywhere. I don't know. It's just like, what does it feel like? Does it have a shape? Does it have a color? I'm like, bro, it's just depression. I don't know. So I feel like I'm not very connected to my body and I don't know how to express how I'm feeling very well. I don't know if that's just like normal and my therapist was using like a different type of method that didn't connect with me, or if I'm genuinely just like not very in tune with my body and my emotions and all that kind of stuff. It is the next day. I finally mustered up a little bit of energy to whip out ye old sewing machine because honestly I got tired of sewing this by hand. I got a third of the way through, but honestly it would be way faster if I just sewed it. Come on, bro. There we go. Alright, I haven't sewn in a couple months. Let's see if I still have the chops. This is so much faster already. Like I didn't already know that. Perfect. That was so fast. I gotta redo this. Right now, here's the problem. The thread on the bottom is so tight. It's just a line. There we go. Round 2. Sounds like a machine gun, Kelly. Oh, don't do this to me. Please. I literally don't have the willpower to live. This is not working out for me. I'm just gonna come back when I have a viable product. Sorry this video is just such a mess. It is the next day. I finally finished hemming these pants and it doesn't look the best, but I feel like because it's so baggy it'll just look like a natural fold. Now moving on to yet another pair of pants. I'm actually like obsessed with these pants, like all three of these. I wear them all the time. They're from Motel Rocks. If you want to check it out, I'll link them down below. Totally not sponsored, just highly recommend. Anyway, for these green pants, I'm actually going to hem them properly because they don't have the bottom right now. It just looks like a regular hem. So I'm just gonna create a new seam and like sew it properly. I'm actually gonna try this on first to see where I want to hem. Here's what I have hemmed, or put safety pins up. I feel like it's a little bit short. Okay, I think I'm gonna add like 2 centimeters. That is better. So here's my new seam placement. I'm gonna cut off that much. Is that too much? Okay, just cut it. I'm just gonna cut it. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Wow, that is not straight. Speaking of being straight, I got a lot of questions about sexuality, if I would date a girl, all that kind of stuff. And the answer is, I don't really know. I'm kind of confused right now. As you might know, I actually don't have that much dating experience. Instead, I form crushes really easily because I could just like take this empty shell of a person, just like a blank canvas, and fill it with all these ideas of them, of who I want them to be, to like have this perfect human inside my head. To have those feelings for real requires a lot more emotional maturity, which I don't believe that I have yet. I'm definitely like a late bloomer. But yeah, sometimes I can't tell if I'm actually just straight and I'm just overthinking a lot, or if I actually only like girls, society has just ingrained heterosexuality into me, or if I'm bi and I just don't know it yet, or I haven't accepted that part of myself yet. Sometimes when I meet someone new, I can't tell if I'm romantically interested in them or if they're just a cool person. Like, what qualifies as those certain feelings? I don't really know. I guess it comes with experience and just like meeting people and finding out. It's probably just because I've never felt that feeling before, which is why I'm confused, but I don't really know. Anyway, update with the pants is that I have finally finished hemming them. It's definitely not perfect. You can definitely see the hem. It's also not like the right color, but I don't really care. It works. I definitely had to like rip it out a couple of times because my sewing machine is just not the vibe. It looks good. It fits a lot better now. Yippee-ki-yay. We're finally moving on to some non-pants. So I made this in one of my really old thrift flips. This is one of my favorite things that I've ever made. Essentially, I made the buttonhole too big so it pops off all the time. Pop off in the worst way possible. I'm gonna try to shrink some of the buttonholes so that the buttons don't come undone. And I'm just gonna hand sew those because I think it'll be pretty easy. But yeah, I'm also a very late bloomer. I literally didn't even start being properly attracted to guys until like a couple years ago. I did have celebrity crushes and stuff. Like my first celebrity crush was Leo Howard from Kickin' It. Did you guys ever watch that show? Leo Howard could still get it. Okay, here's an example. Let's say Chris Evans. I think I first watched Captain America like 6 years ago. I was 18, which is like, I'd say decently mature, but I just like didn't get it. Like, I'm just like, okay, this man has abs. It's just his body. Everyone has a body. But now I get it more. Did you catch my drift? I'm in like my second coming of puberty. It's definitely like not a real thing. That's just my theory, hypothesis, okay? I also think that everyone exists kind of on a spectrum where there's actually few people who are fully straight. Like I feel like that's the extreme end of the spectrum. So I feel like I'm somewhere on the spectrum. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know. Does anybody know? Hello, it is the next day. I've literally been filming this video for like 5 days. So this is currently what the outfit looks like. The buttons stay on now, which is amazing. Like I don't accidentally flash anyone because I used to literally just do this action. It would pop, 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 boobs. That's not happening anymore. But I'm contemplating a design change. See, ah! Holy shit! Oh, I just pulled this out of my foot. It's fine. It doesn't hurt. I'm gonna need a second. Okay, I've recovered, sort of. Here's my plan. Right now, this is giving waitress vibes, which is honestly kind of cool and casual. But I want to upgrade it to more of like a Chanel fancy put together look. I've been looking at some of the sets that they have and they always have like a band. So I'm thinking about adding this thick elastic and folding it over to the inside so it covers the whole flap thing. Because right now, as you may recall, I actually just used fabric glue to make it not fray, but it's very scratchy on my skin. I think if I add this waistband, I think it would be really cute and a little more sturdy. Ooh, that looks good. Let's do it. Next question is, have you ever heard one of your songs in public and freaked out? I actually have never heard my songs being played anywhere. It's usually my friends who will play it in the car or something, either to embarrass me or to show other people, which I actually really appreciate, but I get really embarrassed about it. I think sometimes I'm like triggered because people used to play my videos in high school in front of me. They would like laugh at me. I think I still have residual feelings from that. I'm just like really paranoid sometimes that everyone just like hates me and is trying to make fun of me, which is not the case. I would say that only for my latest song, Clean Up in L4, I can listen to it now and not feel cringed out. But for any of my previous songs, like I could not listen to the songs for at least a year after I release them. I also refuse to listen to Love You Like Me. I also cannot listen to By the Rules. They're like rotting in a ditch to me. I feel like they're like a past life, you know? Ooh, also fun fact, I don't know if many people know this, but you actually have to pay to be on the radio. There might be like some people who are like so big that they don't have to pay, but a lot of artists have to pay to be on the radio. Someone asked who my dream artist collaboration is. I think one of my lifelong dreams is to have a song with Griffin, just because the time I saw him live at Coachella kind of like changed my life. I also love his music and like he does a bunch of features with a lot of artists I like. I don't know, his music just makes me feel really happy. This is the finished bottom. It actually fits really well. Now I'm moving on to the top. I'm adding a thinner line to the bottom just because the rest of the top has a thinner white outline than the bottom does. So I'm hoping that it looks okay and it still looks balanced. Got a lot of questions about when did you have your first kiss? Who was it with? I think I was 19 and honestly, I don't remember who it was. It's just a random dude in a club. To be honest, why am I embarrassed right now? But also there's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's fine. Here's the thing. I think I watched too many rom-coms, so I just like build up this image in my head of like how it's supposed to go and like how my first relationship is supposed to be. Like I just like plan everything out. But then I realized I was like 19 years old and I was like, I feel like I'm ready, but like I am the one who's blocking myself. Obviously do it when you are ready. I don't think there's like a right time. I just feel like I personally was ready, but I stressed myself out too much about it. I think that if I didn't just like pull the trigger and do it, I almost feel like I never would. It's honestly not a big deal. Yes, it is kind of a milestone, but it also doesn't have to be this huge deal. The way I see it, the first time doing anything is not gonna be amazing because you're not good at it. Like the first time I sew is not gonna be amazing because I'm just practicing. Yes, it'll be a sentimental time the first time I sew my first piece of clothing, but there are going to be better pieces of clothing and more skilled sewing pieces in the future. Weirdly enough, I do feel like that analogy works really well. I think that it'll be good when it's with the right person, and whether that's your first kiss, whether that's your 10th, 100th, 1000th, I think that moment will always be special when it's with a special person. I think we all make too big of a deal of the first time being amazing. That's all I'm saying. I'm finished. Oh my god, she kind of popped off, I'm not gonna lie to you. I just think it looks so much more put together now that there's no frayed edges, and it just looks a lot more finished and it feels a lot more structured. Now I can like put it on without fearing that it's gonna all rip apart. Cute! I really like this. I already did really like the original, but I feel like just by fixing it up, it looks so much better. So cute. Oh! keep stepping on sharp things on the ground. Look, this is glass. I'm gonna keep doing this myself. Thank you so much for sending in your questions on Instagram. Make sure to follow me on Instagram so you can be included in the next one, and just to keep up to date on the shenanigans I'm doing. I'm probably laying in bed. Well, there's a chance that I'm not, so you don't want to miss out in case I actually go outside. Keep streaming Clean Up in Aisle 4, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!